All right, so here's what I mean. We're in the dashboard of My Likes, and we need to connect with Tumblr now in order to see the campaigns and categories that they have. So I'm going to hit this Connect with Tumblr button. So since we already created the Tumblr account before this, I'm already signed in. I just need to go down here and allow access. So I'm going to click that button. All right, so cool. Now we're in. We can see all the categories, and you can see here this Axe shower gel campaign pays $8 a click, or $8, 8 cents a click. So you can just go down here and take a look at at what stuff pays, and this stuff starts to add up pretty quickly once you get a lot of clicks in, and when you have thousands of followers, it really starts to add up. So let's take a look at the categories here. The categories are what you want to look at. So if it has entertainment, that would be good for the celebrity niche. Food is going to be good for the the food niche, cooking, recipes, vegan diets, stuff like that. Music would be good for the celebrity niche too. So just go through here. Here's sports if you want to do sports one. Technology, travel is always a good niche to go for. So yeah, just go through here, and they pretty much I'm thinking about doing fashion for this one that I'm going to do with you guys. So if I click here, you can see that here's fashion, and it shows some of their things. So we see they have a lot of options for us to promote stuff. So that's good, and that's what we're looking for. So okay, so I'm pretty sure I'd like to go with fashion on this one. And I'm not going to go into a specific subcategory of fashion. I think I'm just going to go on a broad scale, since this is kind of just an example. And yeah, so I think I'll go with that. So the next thing I would look for is to make sure we have lots of content to post. Now, you can go with sites like, just Google Images, or, there's different photo sharing sites like that where you can look for images to share. And you're not really violating any copyright as long as you give credit back to the source. So that's not really too much of an issue here. I also use this site, weheartit.com. There's lots of pictures in here. Here's this is a dude from One Direction, so that's what I mean. If you go into a subcategory of a band like that, you could go that route. So there's definitely a lot of fashion stuff in here. Here's nail polish and stuff like that. So yeah, I think fashion is a good niche to go for, and that's the one I'm going to choose for this one. Now, what course would be complete without keyword research? Now, keyword research isn't entirely important in this course, so you could feel free to skip this part if you want, but here's what I'm getting at. I like to pick out a domain for a couple of reasons. Number one, for branding, because it looks better, and let me show you why. Let's say our Tumblr was vegancooking.tumblr.com. That's what it would normally look like, right? Well, for branding, if we got a domain name, vegancooking.com, that would look a lot better. And here's reason number two. I like to try to find an exact match domain that has some decent decent search volume. And what I mean by exact match domain is if your keyword is vegan cooking, you get the exact match domain, exactly what it sounds like, vegancooking.com. And I do that because sometimes these blogs will rank in Google, and although we don't need them to, it's nice if it does, because then you get some extra traffic in there. So I like to do just a little bit of keyword research to pick out a domain name. So I'm going to go in and here in Google right now, and I'm at the keyword tool. So just type in keyword tool, and this is right through AdWords. We're going to click that. We're not going to do anything fancy here. And we already know, on a broad category what we're going for, just by doing the little bit of research we already did. And I'm going to go for the fashion. So I'm going to go and select exact match and see if I can find an exact match domain. And I want to know exactly what search terms coming in for that. So I'm going to just type in some stuff related to fashion that I think people might be searching for. Alright, so I just typed in just a couple there, or a few. So now I'll type in a CAPTCHA. I don't know what that is. Hopefully it's right. Alright, so at the top here it's going to show what we looked for, and at the bottom it's going to show stuff related that maybe we didn't think of. So I'm just going to look through here. So you know, there's lots of stuff that we could go pick out here. Current fashion trends might be a good one to go after. New fashion trends. Fashion blogs, kind of an interesting one. Now, I doubt that the exact match domain would be available for fashion blog, but maybe if we added a stop word to it like my fashion blog or a fashion blog or the fashion blog, we'd probably still be able to possibly rank for that. So if you go to GoDaddy.com and you know, you go in here and type in the domain name and hit search, it'll say, let's try fashion trends, for example. If you go through here and search, it'll actually say that, you know, it's taken, or it'll say if it's available. So if it is available, you just click the add button and add it to your shopping cart and continue registration. So I'm going to go through here through the keywords and see if I can find one of these available, maybe with a stop word, and then I'll come back and let you know which one I went with. Alright, so we're back. I went with the domain name afashionblog.net, and I want to show you how we set up the what's called A records for this now, so that we get our domain on Tumblr. You don't even need hosting for this because Tumblr is going to be your host, basically. So I'm going to show you how to do it on GoDaddy. If you have a different domain service that you like to use, you can feel free to use them, but you might have to ask them how to do this. It's pretty standard. It's just called changing the A record. Okay, so here's what you do. For GoDaddy, you'd go ahead and sign in. Normally it's up here where you sign in. You click My Account, and it leads you to this screen. And then you click Launch on Domains. And after you do that, you'll select your domain, and you'll come to this screen. Okay, so here's my domain, afashionblog.net. And here's what we're going to do. We just come down here to DNS Manager, and we hit Launch. Okay, and here's what we're going to do. We're just going to edit this one right here, the one that says host, and we're going to edit this points to address. Okay, so we're going to go over to Tumblr now. This is our Tumblr blog, and we're going to scroll down here, and we're going to hit this little gear thing. Actually is where we want to go to. All right, and then we hit on our blog here, the untitled, which is what it'll say right away. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit use a custom domain name. So to refresh for you real quick, let me start at the beginning because that was a little bit confusing. Okay, so here's our Tumblr dashboard. We go to this little gear icon, which is the settings. We come down to our blog, which is untitled right now. And then use a custom domain name. All right, so what you have to do is type in your domain name here. So afashionblog.net is mine. And we're going to hit test your domain. All right, and it says that our A record is currently pointed to here. So if we go back to the DNS Manager, here's where it shows that. That's correct. So, and we need to change it to this. All right, so we're going to copy that. The 66.6.44.4. Go back to the DNS Manager and scroll over to this IP one and hit the little pencil thing, and that'll edit it. And we just paste that in there, just like that. Make sure there's no spaces or anything. And that's it. We can just click off of that and hit Save Zone File and hit OK. Alright, now it shows that these changes usually take 1 hour. Okay, but it could take up to 48 hours. So let's hit OK on that. Alright, so now we can hit save on these settings here. And we have our domain picked out. Okay, so you just have to wait for those changes to go through. And in the next video, we'll talk about setting everything up further. But that's niche selection and account creation.